So this episode touched on a lot of mental health issues, right? Do you think that more celebrities should talk about this? And what was your take on the episode?
The episode's an education for me. I like to say that I knew quite a lot about mental health before, or mental health issues, but I think the way the way in which this is presented is really refreshing, and it's a great insight into it, actually, just to watch Lexi navigate her whole life with this condition.
I feel like it's a stigma around mental health a lot. Do you think that more celebrities should talk about that and kind of reduce the stigma?
If it's someone that's going through it themselves, or they feel like they're in a position to talk about it, then yeah, of course, because it can reach such a wider audience. But I think you have to be really responsible with stuff like this, and there needs to be a lot of sensitivity as well. I mean, it's just not, I think you have to really know what it's about before you can start speaking on it.
Yeah.
Maybe know someone, yeah.
I think we should probably elevate doctors above celebrities in terms of talking about it and listening to research and things like that.
Of course.
But I think that people should talk about it, and celebrities are people. And so I think that about coming forward about things that have been stigmatized in the past and saying, this is so much more human than a stigma could ever be. I think that is important, but I don't think it's the only thing that's going to help. With regards to our episode, it made me think about the issue of mental health in a different way, because I've always thought about it. I think like most people, I'm like, oh, well, if this is something that I'm not affected by,
Right.
I want to be kind about it, but I didn't fully appreciate what a heavy lift it was for people who, in this case, have bipolar disorder, and what it's like to just get through the day, and how much of an easier time I have it just by the grace of how my brain was made versus how their brain was made. So I actually do think it's my responsibility to make the world safer for them, as somebody who has the capacity to do that.
Right.
I think that the rest of us need to have more expansive patience and more expansive compassion. And we do need to end the stigma for them, because they're doing a great job at being them.
Right, right. And that's interesting, Gary, that you said that, you talked about it growing up. I feel like I had the complete opposite. I think in the Black community, it's not talked about a lot. And I think that when someone does have a mental health issue, we kind of sweep it under the rug, or we call them crazy or something like that. And for me, watching this episode, to see a Black man in an interracial relationship with someone who has a mental illness, it was so refreshing.
Breaking down more stigmas. I guess, yeah, I know for myself, one thing that's really refreshing nowadays, it's funny you say that, amongst my peer groups or my friends who are Black, so many people are very quick to ask, like, how are you? Like you're saying earlier on, like, I hear this question a lot now. My friend Theo, he's always like, but how are you? You know? Even my dad. And I think a lot more people are way more sensitive now than they were in the past.
I agree.
But I mean, that's a deeper conversation, I feel like, because culturally, yeah, you're right, there's so many things that certain communities don't speak about. But I do feel like it's changing, and hopefully with shows like this, not just this show, but so many other things, it's not becoming so much of an issue, and everyone's more open about talking about, how they feel and operate, and how they're living,